set you up, covering all things professional wrestling. A show by members of the Busted Open Nation. Welcome to the Nation's Corner. Here are your hosts, the Nation's Corner crew.
What is going on, Nation's Corner family? I'm your host, Tony Justice, and with me tonight is a very usual cast of characters. Starting with down in my opposite corner. He is very, very quirky. He's very elderly. The one, the only Mongrovian Mike. How you doing, brother?
He's muted. You're muted.
Of course he's
You're
muted.
Man.
Why wouldn't he be?
What's up?
What's up?
Screw it. Go back on mute.
And of course, we have the very beautiful, the one, the only, the great, the powerful, the Debhausen. How you doing, Deb?
Good. Oh, I thought you were talking about John when you said the very beautiful.
Oh, that's I spread it around. What can I say?
I'm great.
Look,
I'm good.
Good.
Ray wakes up every morning saying that he's more handsome than he was the day before. Well, I have him beat because I'm twice as handsome as he is already. So, do the math.
Okay.
Even
Do the math. Steiner, yeah, that's what it is. Steiner math.
Steiner math works on that.
And of course, we have
More
John
like
in South Jersey.
Frankenstein math.
Yeah, we have John in South Jersey too. What's up, brother?
Good evening, all.
Well, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We've got some AEW and Philly to talk about, which Deb and Seth got to go to last Wednesday for Dynamite, and I'm sure she's got some stories to tell. We've got some Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor that happened last night. We can talk about, and of course we can talk about we'll end the show talking about WWE's PLE tomorrow, Clash in Paris. So yeah, Deb. So tell us how different the ECW Arena looked Wednesday night.
It was awesome. We've been there for several indie shows over the last few years. So we've kind of seen like the first indie show that we went to there just after things opened up from pandemic. Like they didn't really even have any sort of entranceway or anything. And then we kind of progressively saw as we kept going to shows there, they built a cool entranceway. They had a cool video screen. They had the Jumbotron in the middle above the ring. So I knew that for the AEW shows, I had seen like the seating map looked different. So I knew that they were changing something about the layout, but I didn't know what to expect. When we got there, they had moved the entranceway from the side over to the corner, which, if I'm not mistaken, is kind of where it used to be, in front of that concession stand bar. And so when you saw it on TV and you could see that it kind of like angled and went to the corner, the right side there, that wall on the right side was on the other side of that wall was the concession stand. So they just built that fence wall there, in front of the concession stand, and just they left 7 or 8 feet, enough for a line to form for people getting drinks and snacks and stuff. So yeah, that was cool to see how they changed the layout from what we're used to going to indie shows there. The production was great. The show was fun. We had a blast. The crowd was like hot the whole time, chanting, booing. Like when FTR first came out at the beginning, the boos were so loud that we were drowning them out. And every time it quieted down a little bit, enough for Dax to start talking, and then the boos just came back, trying to drown him out. The chants
I have a
throughout
question.
the show. Yeah.
You had some good AEW chants going too, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So back to the entranceway part. I wanted to
Yeah.
stop you for a second. So we've all been there. that concession.
Never,
the concession.
never heard of the place. Where is this at? Philadelphia?
The concession area there. Then they had that VIP where the VIP section was. Is that where you're talking about? Where the new part of the entrance went to that VIP
Yes.
area? Okay.
Yeah, they built the entranceway in that little back corner there.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, it was it was different because when we normally go to indie shows there, like we would sit like kind of in that corner next to, you know, the aisle from the stage to the ring.
Right.
Like that area was the entranceway.
Okay.
So we were sitting in the section in front of like the Eagle's Nest.
Okay, yeah.
And the camera was obviously right there. So I don't know if we were seen at all because the camera
I didn't see you.
No.
Yeah, the camera was behind me, but just like 10 feet to the right of me.
Yeah.
I know Mike from Hoboken was there. You saw his, his sign in the front row. We were about 6 or 7 rows behind him and a few people to the left.
Right. Mike from Hoboken always gets pretty much the same seat when he goes to any AEW show. You're when you start seeing busted open signs in the front row right there, that's Mike from Hoboken. So shout out to Mike.
Side, though. He was on the wrong side this time.
Yeah, he was on the opposite side.
Yes, because he was
normally he's on the side that you see straight ahead. Yeah.
You saw it a few times when action spilled out right in front of him. Then you saw it, but usually you see him all night long.
So to answer Dirty's question, we did not see the Taz thing. So like Taz got a good entrance before the show started. You know, commentary always comes out before the show starts and they get their own entrance. Every commercial break, the crowd was chanting for Taz and saying, "Thank you, Taz." And during one of the commercial breaks, Justin Roberts kind of did a little introduction for Taz and he stood up and waved. But yeah, we did not stay for the thing that they did at the end. We didn't know there was anything else coming. The show was over. A lot of people were getting up and leaving. So we left pretty quickly because we didn't know there was anything else happening. We were literally like within 10 minutes I was on 95 heading home.
haven't we learned anything yet? Not to leave too early from any event at the ECW Arena because we usually miss something. We left. John, what event did we go to? We missed. It was a few years back. You stayed.
Bully being in the ECW Arena.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I gotta work tomorrow.
Dude, you know me. I had to wake up early. I freaking like sleep. Sorry. But yeah, we had a great time though.
Steven, I can't believe you left this. Stealing Ezra's gimmick. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Quick comment though. The Taz announcement. You know, he's being inducted into the Hardcore Hall of Fame there at the ECW Arena. It was originally supposed to be shown tonight on Collision, and from what I saw today on Twitter, that they moved that to Wednesday's Dynamite per Taz's request. So we'll see that next Wednesday, this coming up Wednesday on Dynamite. So that'll be cool to see because we've been there we were there for the Road Warriors induction, and we were there for I can't remember who else. I mean, we were there for a few of them. So
you were there for the Dudleys.
Yeah, the Dudleys.
Dudleys WrestleMania week.
That's right. We were there for a lot of them as a group, as a crew. We were there together, which was cool. So. Speaking of the crew, two of our awesome crew members celebrated birthdays yesterday.
Yeah.
Mr. Guido and
Guido
and our Andre, the producing giant, who's been having a blast on his birthday week. So
and then Garza's was a few days ago.
Yeah, this has been the week of birthdays in the crew. Monday was Garza's birthday. Tuesday was Steve's birthday.
Yep.
And then Friday, yesterday was Andre and Guido's birthday. It was also my grandfather's birthday. So,
well, happy birthday to him.
And me and Mrs. Mongrovian celebrated 38 year anniversary.
38. 38 years of putting up with your ass.
Yeah. How does that happen? Sainthood. Saint Jackie.
How does it happen?
That is.
The same thing that gets me in trouble. I stay downstairs here, out of sight, out of mind, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what my mom always used to say, and my grandparents, everyone would say children should be seen and not heard. So I still carry that through to this day.
Well, you are a child.
Cheers, everybody.
Yeah, we're just get a quick shameless plug here.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've got,
anyway, so yeah, I really liked Dynamite. I'm excited to see what they do for the rest of their time at ECW Arena. All of their shows are live for the whole residency at ECW Arena. All of the Dynamite, the Collision, obviously Death Before Dishonor last night, which we'll get into then. All of them are live, so nothing's pre-taped. So yeah, I'm excited to see like what they do. I know it was a big topic of discussion on Thursday's Busted Open about like, you know, obviously they're at the ECW Arena, so a lot of people like were looking for them to do like ECW tribute stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, my opinion on that is really, I wasn't expecting an ECW tribute show. I was going to see an AEW show at a historical venue. I wasn't looking for it to be an ECW tribute show. And that was one of 7 shows that they're doing there. So we don't know what they have in store for us. Obviously on Death Before Dishonor last night, we saw Blue Meanie make a special appearance. So we don't know what else they have planned. I'm really looking forward to it.
Do that dance? Of course I can do it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and you know, I like what they did there. It wasn't an ECW tribute show, but it was, you know, a couple things sprinkled in here and there to kind of just pay homage to the venue and the history that's happened there. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far.
Yeah, subtlety is always the best way to do something. I like the subtle ways they're going about doing certain things. And yeah, like you said, there's plenty of time. I mean, we saw Blue Meanie last night on Death Before Dishonor, which I popped for because me and Meanie have had many conversations. He watched WrestleMania 40 with us at the watch party there at the ECW Arena, which was cool. Blue Meanie and his wife are amazing people. And it was so cool to see him last night.
Yeah. Dude, that guy's like Ozzy, you know, like he could just walks out and he gets a pop. All he has to do is appear, because it's always the timing of when he appears. Yeah. And then how could you not pop for a big fat guy in a half shirt, you know?
Right.
With the blue, you know.
With the blue.
And he really is mean.
He's the blue guy.
And he's not mean.
No, that's the thing.
No, he's the nicest guy ever.
He is.
So
they
should pay tribute. They should pay tribute to the old ECW fans and have John there front row and catch Darby's ass right in his face.
Why not?
Yeah.
Like old school. I mean, because we know John. Listen, everybody, I'm gonna blow smoke right now. If there's anyone in this crew I'm jealous of, I'm not jealous of him, but then I'm jealous of him, John, because he lived the ECW nights. And when you hear, and I know, like when I hear Dave talking about, and Tommy, and I don't care how many times Tommy talks about ECW, I still love hearing it.
Did you hear?
We could joke about it, but listen, man, that's effing history. That's like that's like meeting Bill Clinton or George Bush and them not reminding you that they were president. You know, so stop. It's in there. But anyway, just you, man. Like you lived that hit. Like there's things when they talk about and you like I was there, you know, and like that time on that show on A&E when I paused the film and actually saw you, a very bloated you, a very much more bloated.
I was.
You still, you know what? Thank God you still had that dopey look on your face, and I was able to spot you out. And when I paused it, and you literally did take a legit bump from Spike Dudley getting thrown about 4 rows back into the crowd.
What?
And then you even let us behind the fan curtain, like they knew what section of the crowd that they could dump somebody that you guys, it's like, you know, and first of all, it's not like they were throwing Bully over, you know, to you guys. They throw Spike Dudley.
I don't think you were catching Bully.
And you've been at Lamore's and other clubs, you know. So, I mean, to catch some 100-pound guy's ass in your face from stage diving or getting thrown from the ropes. But anyway, I just want to say I'm jealous that you lived that because I was already married with kids when ECW was there. So I couldn't say, hey, I'm going to Philadelphia for the weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have.
But I did get to see them at Sports Plus here and the place on Long Island. They were in shock because I think they were getting like WWF and it was not WWF. Yeah, as soon as they was chanting something, show you something to Sonny, you know, we know we were in the wrong place.
Yeah.
John, I'm curious. So when we hung out with Spike there at the Wicked Wolf last year, did you ever tell him or like go up to him and say, hey?
He's known about it.
Okay.
We were talking because he kept looking over at me like, I know you.
Yeah.
And it was, and I'm like, and finally he was sitting there at that table next to us with him and his wife.
That popped the fuck out of me, man. I know you. I caught you.
It was actually Spike's wife that kind of nudged him. And literally he told me, she whispered to him, I think that's one of the guys that used to catch you with ECW. And he's like, and then he's really looking, he's like, I'm like, yes, Mike. Yeah, I'm one. He goes, man, that's crazy. I didn't think I'd ever see you guys again. But
that's awesome.
Did he tell you had soft hands?
He goes, nope. All he gave me was the highest compliment that as a fan I could ever get. He said,
did you give him the same thumbs up that you gave him when you caught him?
Yeah. I said,
wow.
Yeah, he simply said, thank you for always taking care of the guys.
Yeah. That is so cool.
You guys should be recognized just as much as any wrestler because when we went diving out or being thrown out, you guys would sacrifice yourselves to make sure we stayed safe.
Yep.
Well, and it just shows you that he's not just getting, you know, he had a plan like where I'm getting thrown, you know.
Yeah, they would. He told me previously, this was a few years ago, I ran into him, but he would say that, you know, the guys that would like to go out in the crowd, Spike, obviously, RBD, Sabu, they all would know and get to know in the different spots where the different people were that they, you know, he would literally, Spike told me, he'd tell Bam Bam, yo, throw me this way. Because those guys will catch me. Because Bam Bam, at first, didn't like doing it because he was worried about, he knew he could heave Spike as far as he wanted, but he didn't want him, like, everybody to freak out and get out of the way, and then he goes crashing into the chairs and hurt himself. And we're like, no, man, throw him this way. Yeah. We'll make sure he stays safe.
You know how small Spike looks when he's being thrown by someone the size of Bam Bam? Like, it's like a moth, you know, it's like you're brushing a moth away. Like,
Spike was like, I want the man with the slow hand.
And it's funny, Mike, you mentioned like a punk rock show with people stage diving and stuff. I can't tell you how many nights, you know, a lot of the video footage from the old hardcore TV shows and stuff shows Spike getting thrown into the crowd, and then that's it. But I can't tell you how many nights we actually literally caught them as a group and then crowd surfed them around the arena and then brought them back up and pushed them back over the guardrail. Or the one night we heaved them right back into the ring.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
How do you like that? Well, we have to preview shit.
Yeah.
So Seth says this about Darby, and something about Darby that I think a lot of people kind of don't take into consideration. People might rag on him for taking so much time off to climb Mount Everest and stuff.
I don't. You have to.
Darby is not just a pro wrestler. He's an all-around daredevil.
He wants to be. I think he wants to be seen as a modern day Evel Knievel.
Yes, yeah, and pro wrestling is just part of that. He's not and that's honestly one of the things I like about AEW is that, they allow their talent to have other interests and pursue other things. We saw Deonna Purrazzo took time off to go to school and finish her degree, and Darby took time off to go climb Mount Everest, and a lot of other people are able to pursue other interests while having their wrestling career. And along the lines of that as well is that's one of their strengths, having a deep roster, is that if someone wants to take a few months off to go pursue another interest, they have
story or anything like that.
There's and then things can always be revisited later on. I think I think that's a strength for them right now, and I think even in WWE, we're seeing them more and more allowing people to take time off, take vacations. I think it was was it Bishop that they were. I think it was Bishop and Bully. They were discussing, vacation requests. Vacation requests used to
mental
just
health
not,
days and all that.
How
They're
dare
what
you?
The fuck is that?
But now in this current climate, they are able to. If someone can go request, hey, I need a family vacation, or I need to take a few days off. My kid has a baseball tournament or whatever. They are able to, and they are allowed to. And I think that's more beneficial for the wrestlers to be able to do that rather than the grinding 6 days on the road, never seeing their family type stuff. These wrestlers are able to have a relatively normal family life these days.
Yeah, and family is very important, obviously. Things that make you happy is very important, and it contributes to, mental health side of things, I mean, if you're able to enjoy those things and still get your job done and entertain and do what you're paid to do, basically, I mean, it's a win-win. And WWE's even getting to that point where they may not be in the same bubble as far as that goes, but they are allowed to. It's
Tony,
more lenient.
Just think, Tony. Cody Rhodes was working out and ripped his, triceps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Well,
what do you can't worry about this stuff. These are all athletes. I mean, look.
Yeah.
It's what they do.
The family life. Just the family life is important. How many of the older wrestlers, were married several times and their kids didn't even, basically know who they were. And
after story about them. Wrestlers now saying, it was great. I had this fabulous wrestling career, but for a period of 10, 15 years, I didn't know who my kids were, and they didn't know who I was. I was just some guy that showed up once in a while and hung out for a day or two, and then,
Right.
So, I think it's as great as the wrestling business overall is. And, some of it you could say that the older thoughts and thinking are going away, and newer minds and ideas are being filtered in. I think it's just in that. Look at the medical advances. How many people do you hear about having problems with head injuries, neck injuries from getting bashed in the head 4 nights a week with a chair? You don't hear about that no more. And I think this whole thing with the mental side of it, because it's both very physically and mentally demanding. you know, and let's face it, wrestlers for the most part have a fragile ego to begin with. They feed off of those highs, but when they hit a low, it can be a pretty bad low. And instead of, you know, well, shake it off, or here, worse yet, here, take a pill, you'll feel better. You know, things like that. It's all constantly evolving to now that it's, and let's face it, nobody in wrestling, especially in the top organizations, is working that same 300 day a year schedule. Right. Or anything like that.
They're not doing house shows, if any at all.
Right. You know,
barely.
AEW doesn't do house shows. All their stuff is on television. You know, and WWE hasn't done house shows in almost 2 years now. If they go over, I mean, and again, this is where we lose out. I mean, they'll do some here and there, but they're like tours. Like they'll go out for like 2 weeks, and then that's it. Or unless they go overseas, like they've just been overseas the last 2 weeks, finishing up in France tomorrow and Monday. But, you know, and they got some house shows there, which, okay, you're there, but you're not always overseas. So it's not like they're seeing that. So you give them a little something extra for the fans. And I understand that. But the schedule itself is nowhere near what it used to be.
No.
Even filtering down into the indies. Yes, there's plenty of work, but you're not working 4 and 5 and 6 nights a week just to get out there. I mean, you can if you want to, but you don't necessarily have to.
Yeah.
You're right there, Jay. I would save the crazy stuff. I would save the crazy stuff for like the big pay-per-views and important stories. I wouldn't do a lot of these, you know, risky things.
But there are people like Darby. Like I said, he's a daredevil. He's like Evil Knievel. He's like Travis Pastrana. Like he's not. Well, he's a different case. He's different.
But you do agree at some point what he does with his body, he's going to be walking around like Mick Foley one day. You know?
That's very true. But you're not going to tell the guy no. And I'll.
I know. I'll
give you my take. The stuff he does
tell him no,
off of TV.
Tell him no.
But the stuff he does off of TV and off of wrestling is probably twice as dangerous and bad than anything he does do on TV.
I think Osprey though, Jay. I think Osprey has tapered it back for more important things.
Well, sure.
He has significantly.
I mean, if anybody has seen him in New Japan, and I'm not even a New Japan expert, but I mean, Ezra can let you know. He was crazy, much crazier, right? Younger?
Yeah. I'll give you a perfectly relatable name along those lines. Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho in Mexico and Japan and Smoky Mountain and even early ECW is way different than the Chris Jericho you've seen even the last 10 years. Why? Because he's also a hell of a lot older than he was then. And Jericho, much like he's always reinvented himself and his character, has definitely changed his moveset over the years. It's still a match, but it's not all the big flippy
Mad Mac
he used to do when he was younger. And that's career longevity. That's why we're talking about Chris Jericho at 55 years old. Can he still go?
Yeah, exactly.
If he kept trying to do the stuff he did when he was 22 in Japan and Mexico, we wouldn't be talking about 55-year-old Chris Jericho. He would be a cool footnote along the way, but he would not absolutely be in wrestling.
Right.
You know, he'd be an old guy going on the convention circuit and the meet and greet circuit, you know, barely being able to walk to the table and sign an autograph.
So, well, look at Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes just, got his knees redone.
Yeah.
And now he's going to be out for a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
But,
Chris Jericho, speaking about, John's point, Chris is smart, very smart, because he's made an impact everywhere he's ever been. WCW, ECW, WWE, when he came over, it was a big freaking deal when he came over to WWF the first time. the countdown clock, months prior to him arriving. I remember wondering who is that? What is this? And all it was a countdown clock for about 5 or 10 seconds, and then that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first time that he interacted when he came to WWF and had that epic interaction with The Rock, and just everything he's ever done, the list, the Festival of Friendship, the going to New Japan, kind of betting on himself, even though Chris was already a huge star, but he knew he had something else. He knew he wanted to make his mark felt somewhere else. New Japan, which me and Deb were talking about this the other day. I think we said it last week on the show. If Chris had not gone to New Japan, would we still have AEW?
He also went to New Japan out of respect. He didn't sign anywhere in the States. He didn't do anything in the States out of respect to Vince and the WWE. Right. He went to New Japan and reinvented his character, and just did it that way. But, and then finally that was it, even though he was mad about Festival of Friends.
But the story goes that, like, I think, when Jericho went to New Japan and had the matches there, that, kind of was the inspiration for Tony Khan to want to get involved in things.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we had Cody and Kenny.
And you needed a big guy. You needed a big name like that.
Yes.
Hey, Knox wasn't a big enough name, and he wasn't even out yet. So
yeah.
So
they needed that veteran name, that long established name that everyone knew, to be there at the very, very beginning.
Yeah, because you had the cool factor with Cody and the Bucks and Kenny and that whole tie-in. But when they announced Chris Jericho at that press conference and he came out and spoke, that instantly, like, this is serious. We're not fucking around here. That we're making this a go.
And when he was the inaugural champion, leaving the ring and going back, cutting the promo on every single person. That he just went back after taking the title, winning it, gave everyone the rub, like, for all the people tuning in, like, who are these other people? Because you knew Cody, you knew him, who else did you know really, unless you were a New Japan fan or
And then, and not to mention all the cool shit he's done, he's been a part of with AEW, Inner Circle. We all did the Flim Flam as a group.
Oh my God,
and a thank you to ROH too, because without ROH helping him out here, nothing would have been as big as it is. And also a shout out to TK and his dad for being so fucking rich.
Hey. And finally, Chris Jericho, outside of professional wrestling, has had a pretty good stamp in the music scene with his band Fozzy, being a host at different award shows, being friends with different musicians, Paul Stanley of Kiss being one, and an author. I mean, Chris Jericho is dipping his toe in everything you can imagine. He's even been in. He was in
Bill and Ted.
Yes. So I mean, he's smart.
Sharknado.
Yes, he was in Sharknado.
Yeah,
he was. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, thank you, Ezra. Can't forget about Quarantine.
Yeah, Quarantine. Yeah, that is an amazing. That is an amazing cover band, by the way. They kick ass on them.
And I'm not even really.
He was on Dancing with the Stars,
but they're fun.
Yeah, he was on Dancing with the Stars too.
He was featured.
Forgot about that.
He was featured in that other show on one of those other cable channels that they make the aquariums, the custom made aquarium, and they make.
I remember that. Yes.
So he's.
Yeah.
He's
so
what's
really funny? It's really funny. Even before I started watching wrestling, my first exposure to Chris Jericho was when he was featured on all those like
his kids
VH1 shows.
Uh-huh.
Like the I Love the 90s, I Love the
Yeah.
80s.
Yep.
Like he was one of those people that they brought in to kind of do commentary, you know, like they had, you know, some B-level stand-up comics and stuff. You know, just doing commentary on the shows. That was my first exposure to Chris Jericho, and that was when he had his short hair. It was after he left WWE the first time. He cut his hair short, and that was long before I started watching wrestling. That was the first thing I knew him of. And then when I started watching wrestling, I was like, hey, I know that guy.
So he's definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer whenever that time comes.
Right.
It'll happen.
And honestly, you know, there was talk this past week about Chris Jericho and what his plan may be. And honestly, I think it's time. I think that, you know, we all suspected that he would eventually go back to WWE when it came time to, you know, put the stamp on his career. And I think it's up to him, whatever he decides. But I would love to see him back to WWE just to have that last lap to do whatever he wants to do. You know. Because I'm a huge fan of Chris Jericho. So
I'm a big fan of Jericho. We were talking about this the other day, Tony. Like you know, ever since he first went to AEW, like I kind of always assumed that at some point he would go back to WWE, finish his career out there, be inducted into the Hall of Fame. You know, he's been at AEW since the very beginning for 6 years. I honestly think at this point he's accomplished everything he can accomplish at AEW. I feel he's done a great job of being able to elevate some younger talent. Every faction that he's had, every reiteration and reinvention of his character that he's had has helped to get some other talent to the next level. And that seems to be his purpose every time. One of the things that I love about him most is that his little gimmicks and his shticks, like every time he reinvents himself, it's something so silly that people like make fun of and hate on first, and then it eventually like people kind of come around to it. It was so when he first started doing like the Hi Guys thing with the learning tree, I immediately thought it was hilarious because I immediately knew that it was kind of a knock on his haters on social media. And like he started doing the Hi Guys thing, and I remember so many people were like, "Oh, here we go! Like it's Jericho. He's so stupid. I can't stand this." And when we had gone to a Collision taping here in Allentown, and half the crowd was going, "Hi guys!" And I'm looking around like, this is getting over. People are starting to really like this. And a lot of the times with his gimmicks, it's like a slow burn. Like it's slow to come around, and then people start getting into it.
Just like
I just wanted to come back. I just wanted to come back because I know he misses Mitchell Cole.
Yeah, but then I'll have to leave Steve Owen.
Yeah. It's just like when he won the title that time, and the cameras followed him backstage when he was going backstage to the locker room.
Yeah.
And he went to the table and he said the famous phrase, "A little bit of the bubbly." And who knew that would catch on like wildfire because they made shirts of it. Yes. I mean, it became a thing.
You sold bottles of little bit of the bubbly.
Yes.
A friend of mine bought it for me. A friend of mine bought that. It was like a 2-pack, and he gave me one of the bottles.
Yeah,
it was not bad. I don't like champagne, but
all right, guys.
Bottles. They sold all of that stuff.
Let's hit some Ring of Honor before we start talking about WWE. We watched Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor last night, and Deb, tell us about what they wound up doing on YouTube. Tell us about that whole deal.
So I subscribe to the Ring of Honor app. Me and John are one of two of few that do.
Yeah, we're like 2 of 15. Worldwide.
Yeah, I was watching.
You're keeping
I was
Tony.
watching
You're
on the
keeping
Ring of
Tony
Honor
alive. With you
as
helping
I
him
do
with his
almost
cash
every
flow.
week. But at one point we were watching the show, and at one point I had seen on Twitter that there was a post, like Tony Khan and Ring of Honor posted saying like they're aware of some issues of people watching on the website on Chrome and Firefox browsers. I guess something with like the provider it wasn't on their end, it was the provider, because it was working on other browsers and the app, but just on Google Chrome browser and Firefox browser, something wasn't working right. So like I'd seen a post saying that, you can still watch on Safari, which is Apple's browser, and through their app.
Browser.
And then a little bit later I saw that they like he said, whatever issue it wasn't getting fixed. So he was putting it up on YouTube for free. So that's when I told you guys on Zoom, like, hey, if you're interested in watching it, because SmackDown was just about over, it's up on YouTube for free right now. Everybody can watch it. And I think that was a very, very good decision on their part, not only for the people who may have experiencing issues, but for you guys who don't normally watch it because you don't sub to ROH. And then you can be like, hey, since it's free, I'll just throw it on YouTube. And I think it's a very good decision. And I almost wonder if maybe they were using it as like an experiment to see what their viewership would be like if they're on YouTube. So I'm hoping that they look at the numbers closely, and, maybe they use that as leverage in the future. If they're getting some sort of TV deal, a streaming deal, or if they just want to put the show on YouTube from now on, I'd be totally for that.
Sure.
Yeah, it was a fantastic show.
Just to follow up on that real quick, I saw a couple different tweets and posts today talking about that, and evidently Tony said something about it in the post media scrum that kind of gave the impression that they may be looking to, I don't want to say make it just like, but revive the old AEW Elevation and Dark that was on YouTube, or matches on YouTube, and maybe going in that direction with Ring of Honor as well. So I think, it's definitely a conversation. I mean, it's going to be.
I would love that.
Yeah, I think it's a great way. Again, I'm not going to go into what I don't like about Ring of Honor under TK. We don't have the time for it, and I'm not going to go into it.
Yeah,
but
don't be negative, John. I hate negativity. Okay, just please
shut up. Shut up,
All right, nice to meet you, Pedal.
What?
You're lightning's going to strike in your box. I guarantee you, it's going to strike in your box.
Yes.
But so I hope that they do something on YouTube, because I honestly do feel, and I see the conversation pop up every once in a while amongst AEW fans, is that a lot of AEW fans really miss Dark and Elevation. That was, since they don't do house shows, Dark and Elevation was a great way for a lot of the roster to get some additional matches. It was a great way to kind of test out certain storylines, test out certain characters, get that practice level in that, house shows usually serve the purpose for. And a lot of the AEW fans are missing that. The AEW fans are also missing Rampage as well. Like, for a lot of fans that don't necessarily watch WWE, then there's not anything for us to watch on Fridays. I miss watching Rampage. I thought it was a great 1 hour show. I miss watching Dark every week. I loved seeing the younger talent that isn't on the main roster, so to speak, if we're going to call it that. So I think ROH can fill that void of those people on the roster that need extra time, need extra attention, and it can boost their viewership. The one thing I wanted to mention along the lines with ROH, Bear Bronson, our friend Bear Bronson, was on the Game Changer podcast a couple weeks ago, and he kind of spoke about ROH in that sense, like that the roster is killing it and they're working very hard, but unfortunately not a lot of people are seeing it.
Yeah, nobody knows about it.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, they have a whole roster of people that are putting their heart and soul into their matches every single week, but just not a lot of people see it. And that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Back to the YouTube conversation, if that is indeed true, that would be a relief for those who are freaking just subscribing to everything, trying to watch everything. Right. Denise made a comment the other day on Busted Open. It's so expensive, or I think it was Denise. It's so expensive being a wrestling fan these days.
Sure.
Because in order to stay up and up on everything, we've got to subscribe to this, subscribe to that. So it's going to be cool to see something that's actually going to be free to watch on YouTube. It's kind of a relief for those that are just sick of paying for every single streaming outlet to watch certain wrestling programs. So
yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
But anyway, I was one of those that flipped on YouTube last night whenever I found out through Deb that it was going to be on YouTube, and I know Front Row was another one, and we were all on Zoom popping at the Bandito Hechicero match, and the Ember Moon and Mina Shirakawa match was good too.
Athena.
Yeah, Athena. Why did I say Ember Moon?
I have no clue.
No, he's not that person anymore.
She's not.
You're denigrating a forever ROH champion. How dare you?
I know.
And mind you, the main event was
the
forever champion, the women's ROH champion Athena versus Mina Shirakawa. That was your main event. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yep.
And
so it was
on
great.
A personal note, just real quick on a personal note, I know you didn't see it, Tony. I don't know if you saw it, Mike, but Deb, you saw it. Big round of applause and congratulations to Rumble, man, Rumble. Shane Taylor Promotions are the new Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team Champions. Shane Taylor and the Infantry, Carly Bravo and Captain Sean Dean are wearing the belts once again. And for those old school fans of Ring of Honor, you know how bad of a badass team and faction Shane Taylor Promotions was in Ring of Honor. And to see them on top again, even in this smaller belt,
that young woman there, that hero, Trish Adora, yes. She is not just a valet, okay?
Yeah. No,
just let it be known.
She is freaking badass.
She could take. She's a. You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb, John, and see if you agree. She's a modern day Miss Jacqueline. There you go.
Absolutely.
That's about as badass as you could be.
And Shane Taylor Promotions now, especially, is on the rise because you have the pure champion Lee Moriarty as part of the Shane Taylor Promotions, and now they have the 6-man titles. It's not the trios titles. It's the belt is called the 6-man.
I love this kid. No, let me tell you, John. Dirty's kid, man.
Yeah.
That kid is a fan through and through. Like, he is hardcore, man. He's like, Dad, Mike Bennett's doing a show in Minnesota. Can we go? You know what I mean? Like,
shout out to Mike Bennett.
That is how hardcore this kid is for the Kingdom, and it's just unbelievable. And the Kingdom loves him.
Yeah,
yes.
And the Kingdom was on the show last night. We saw Mike Bennett and Matt David.
Yeah,
I popped huge.
Yeah, I don't mind losing to Dirty's kid on these picks for like Royal Rumble and everything, but I lose to this freaking dog. You know what I mean? Like, how do I lose?
He beat the dog, so we're good.
How?
Elder, don't you know by now that children are our future? I mean, we've got Drake, we've got Dirty's kid.
I mean, I got Cosmo. He's laying right here. He doesn't know nothing unless I pull out a piece of food or crinkle a bag. If I go like this,
he knows he's my
he's
boy.
paying attention. Now he pays attention. Go lay down. Go back to sleep. Go ahead.
Anyway, back to ROH real quick. We will move on, I promise. Yeah, so the infantry, I'm super excited for them. I'm a newer fan than John to them. My introduction to Captain Shawn Dean was in everyone's YouTube vlogs during COVID, when he was basically just talent relations guy and handling the extras. I fell in love with him then. My introduction to the amazing Carly Bravo was watching him smoking a joint with Zicky Dice on Twitch.
Hey,
I fell in love with him.
Oh, it was on Twitch. Okay, it was out.
It was on Twitch. It was on Twitch.
Okay.
It was out there. It's not a secret.
We saw the Samoans. The wild
shout out to
Samoans
Zicky Dice as well. I miss him. But yes, I absolutely love them. Since Carly Bravo and Shawn Dean and Trish Adora have been the infantry, they've just been on a freaking roller coaster that only goes up. And it's been awesome.
And I just want to say that John, I'm sure, is very happy with Shane Taylor. You know, I mean, like, because that was one of the sticking points, I believe, with you. How that man was treated a little bit when he first came back in ROH. Like, why is he? Yeah. Why is this absolute beast? But you know, we're not going to go on how the big men are treated.
Right now,
we're being positive,
and they're saying good, and I hope it continues.
And he's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
and he's awesome.
I met Shawn Dean at one of those Nation Across the Nation events in Minnesota when Dave and Mark Henry and Captain Shawn Dean was there, and Ethan Page, your favorite, Deb.
That's when you got Ethan Page to do a video for me.
Yes, so
I remember
that's the infamous event where Dave got into the push-up contest with
Wardlow.
Yeah.
No,
that was a mistake.
No.
Put your monocle on when you say
Wardlow wasn't there.
No, it was Hobbs who did the push-up contest.
That's right.
He did the
was Hobbs
with Wardlow.
Yes, that was it.
Speaking of Hobbs, that picture with the girl and him with the look back. Oh my God, is that? God,
you know, she had my face too, because for real, not gonna lie, I was doing the same.
And just him giving that look back, what a perfect freaking picture to have.
Yeah.
Caption this.
I may have tried to take a few pictures a little zoomed in further of Hobbs and Wardlow. I'm just saying. It was hard to get good picture. But anyway.
We've got a few minutes left of the show. We're going to close out talking about the card. We're not going to go over every match, obviously.
Well, there's only 6 matches.
Yeah, there's only 6 matches, so we can go through it real quick.
We can give our picks. What is it?
Let's start with this one.
Yes, so there is a lot of heat going into this match. A lot of good promos that have been done on this match. Nikki, has got some fire coming in, especially this past promo she did. And Becky, of course, is killing it in her promo game, and she's killing it on the mic. I told Deb the other day that she's finally, in my opinion, she's finally locked in on this character, because before, when she turned heel and she was the big time Bex, I thought it was just too out there because she was wearing all these
fake,
ridiculous outfits and just, basically like her husband, her hot husband.
It wasn't
it wasn't
a hot American husband.
And let's face it, we're not the only ones saying it. Sports Illustrated said it.
Yeah.
Sports Illustrated. Yeah.
That she reminds everybody of.
And she could wear freaking sunglasses inside, not freaking Bono.
But I think now she's finally locked in on this character, and it's showing because she's confident. I mean, she's always come out in the ring and done her pose on the top rope with holding the belt up, or standing on the second rope and holding the belt up on all four corners. Reminds me of Stone Cold whenever he would get on all four corners of the top of the ring and hold his arms up. But it's showing in her confidence level, and I think it's going to be a pretty good match come tomorrow. What say you guys?
Yeah, I think it's Becky's gonna make Nikki look like there's no rust on her, and you guys know I've been critical of Becky Lynch in the past, man. She's a true heel right now. She's getting true heel heat. She took away the song, so no one's singing her song, and the fans can't remember anything that's not whoa in it, so.
Right. Well, I have a slightly different take, and call it a hot take or anything, but I think we see a new champion tomorrow night. Nikki Bella. Say what you want about Nikki Bella, and I have been critical in the past that she's not much more than a diva. She was a very pretty face, but her and her sister did have, during their time, a significant impact in WWE. She didn't, at this point, she could have rode being a Hall of Famer and make appearances and come out and smile and do her little dance thing and wave and all that. But she has gotten herself, especially after a child, which in this day and age with other female wrestlers is still impressive, but she had a child. She has gotten herself back in probably better shape than she's ever been in any previous time of her wrestling. And I honestly can see them putting the belt on her, even if it's only for a short time. But I can honestly see them doing that. And, is it legitimate? Maybe, but, why not? Why not? Do we really need to see Becky with another belt right now? We all know what Becky's like. We all know what Becky's like as either a babyface or a heel champion at this point. And yes, the idea would be to bring a younger talent up, i.e., Lyra Valkyria and the Becky feud previously. But why not? You have Nikki Bella there. She's obviously still very popular and over with the fans. Why not? And if she can really go, and she's been really putting all this work that she said and others have said that she's been doing, put the belt on her and let's find out.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Deb, what do you think?
I'm going with Becky. I'm going into these a little blind. I haven't watched any WWE programming in like 2 weeks. I keep up with things like from you guys in conversation, from Busted Open, from social media. So I have a general idea of what's going on, but I haven't watched the shows. But I feel that Becky is just she's gonna win. No, I'm not a WWE hater. It's just not in my it's not in my interest right now at the moment.
Don't have the bandwidth. That's all.
I don't have the bandwidth. My interests are elsewhere.
Yeah, that's everybody's prerogative.
Yeah. It might be a lot more feasible for her in 26.
All right. I'm going to give you guys this one next because this is my pick for match of the night.
Oh yeah.
These two big some bitches just beating the fuck out of each other.
Yeah. Me and Deb had this conversation yesterday as well, a Donnybrook match. And we, I actually looked up the definition of Donnybrook and sent it to Deb.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, okay. It's basically just a free for all. I mean, it's a
I don't even care
I
who
told
wins
you,
this
Donnie
match.
Brooke is Dana Brooke's brother.
No, that's the other.
That's
Shut up,
hilarious.
Donnie.
So I
Shut up, Donnie.
I felt like an idiot because like I literally don't think I've ever heard that term before like 2 or 3 days ago. And all of a sudden I hear everybody going, "Oh, Donnybrook match, Johnny. It's a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match." Awesome. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yes, but like I said, I don't care who wins this match. Because it's just I know that these two big
It's a brouhaha.
Yeah. It's a Peterson brawl. Katie Bargador.
Oh man,
it will be a banger.
I'm missing Vanilla. Sorry, I'm missing Vanilla Baby. I got a tweet right now that Blake Christian's on my TV, even though I'm not looking.
Oh my God, I'm looking right now and see someone that's still not gone. Jesus effing Christ. Sorry, I take that back. I'm sorry.
Anyway, but I just think that this is going to be match of the night. From an entertainment and a not from a wrestling standpoint that way, but it's gonna be real fun watching these two beat the hell out of each other, and that's exactly what they're gonna do.
Can Sheamus have a bad match?
No, and neither can Rusev, really. And
for real,
this is something right in their wheelhouse.
I feel like this is the case, just for me, from my observation, this is the case where like it almost doesn't matter what the story is. It's just gonna be a fantastic match.
Yeah.
Like I don't know the story behind this. I haven't seen it because aren't they on SmackDown and I haven't watched SmackDown.
Right.
So
namely this has been playing out on SmackDown.
Yeah, so I don't know the story behind this. I haven't seen the previous matches they have. From what I hear, they've basically had a match like every week for the past 5 or 6 weeks.
Right.
But it's Sheamus and Rusev. Like it's going to be a banger.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just happy to see Rusev on my TV. They've actually found a place for him. When he came over from AEW. There was a long time where we didn't see Rusev on AEW television, and we were all wondering where is he? Or Miro, excuse me.
WWE.
For a while.
He went back to there and said, "Screw you guys, I'm going home." And hung out there, and then came back. So I agree.
Yeah.
And like I said, this could be a real fun, hard hitting, holy ass match. So
yeah.
All right, we'll do this one next.
This is probably my least favorite match on the card.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I'll agree. It should be a lot better than what it's kind of like an also ran at this point. I mean, the Wyatt Six, and in this case, it's Joe Gacy and I want to call him and Dexter Lumis. They're legit. The Wyatt Six is enough to pique anybody's interest, no matter what. And dude, one of the best tag teams over the past probably 5 to 10 years have been the Street Profits. This should be a bigger match than what they're kind of portraying it as. And I think it's going to be an excellent match. And they tried the last couple of weeks to kind of juice it up a little bit with some backstage stuff and this and that. But I'm with you, Tony. It should be great, but it should also be a little better than how it's right now on the card.
You know what I think it is? The Street Profits have kind of been a little heelish, I guess. Are they heels, or are they considered heels right now, or babies?
I guess it's hard. It's one of them. It's one of the weird tweener things that they seem to be in right now, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah. Well, in my opinion, the Street Profits were more over when they were doing their Red Solo Cup gimmick, and they were in the crowd, and everybody was. That was, in my opinion, that was the peak of the Street Profits.
Yeah.
And now they've gone a little. I don't know. They've added I can't think of her name.
B-Fab.
B-Fab. Yeah, they've added her, and it just doesn't. I don't know. It something about it that just doesn't click with me.
Well, I think the whole story is the Wyatt Six getting in their heads and in between all the other tag teams.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. And
right
Front
now,
Row has a good
seems
point.
like from the other night, it looks like they're getting in the Street Profits' heads. So
yeah,
we'll see if that creates dissension. Go ahead.
Yeah, Front Row's got a good point. Bo's been doing amazing work backstage. He came out on SmackDown backstage. I was like, look, it's Bo. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Without the Uncle Howdy.
No, Bo Dallas.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's cool. And personally, and I'll keep it fair and balanced. The Wyatt Six were moreover, in my opinion, when we were having to all when the QR code would pop up on our screen, and we were having to go and research and find out what that QR code meant.
No, we didn't. Andre and RA did it all.
Well, yeah.
And
we watched. We watched.
Yes.
Yeah.
We let them do all the legwork. They were into it. Hey, man.
Yeah. How many boxes of tinfoil were wasted on those nights whenever?
I don't want to count that high.
Yeah.
I can't count. I can't count that high. I've been hitting that.
Yeah.
But all right, let's go to this one because this is going to be really good as well.
Yeah.
The tribal chief versus the tribal thief, the owner of the Feudal.
Yeah.
Does Roman get his Nikes back?
Yeah. Let's get my shoes back. Let's nothing against Bronson Reed. I mean, he's part of that faction with Seth and Braun Breaker, and yes, Bronson is coming into his own. I just think that Roman's kind of in cruise control right now. I think it's ever since the Bloodline stuff he's still over as hell. He's still, I mean, whenever his music hits, I'm muting y'all and I'm turning my TV up because I want to see what's going to happen.
Right.
But it's like, what are we building to with Roman? This is just a place. What do you want to call it? A placeholder match, kind of.
Placeholder. I don't know.
I look at it as you're right. I think we're all pretty much aware there are more and bigger things on the horizon for Roman. We're not quite there yet, but you definitely have a feeling that we're headed that way. But also in the meantime, why not give Bronson Reed, who has been very good and has really developed being part of Seth's faction or whatever, why not give him a rub?
Yeah.
And give him, put him on an overseas big PLE with Roman Reigns. And at this point, again, Roman, we know bigger things are on the horizon for him, but why not get that rub to a guy still on the rise?
True.
And I think it's going to be a very fun, entertaining match, very hard hitting. Say what you want about the part-time schedule and stuff, but Roman Reigns, when the bell rings, he absolutely still can go and put on, very, very good matches. So I don't think this one's going to be any different.
Right.
Let's get to this one.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So I saw last night on SmackDown the Brussels Kid. John Cena came back around.
Yes.
And he healed out on him a few months ago.
Right.
And then last night he came back around and put a stamp on that story as far as that aspect, and actually went to him. He was right there by the entryway, right there at the aisle. And John went over to him in the middle of his promo with Logan Paul and went over to him and apologized to him. Now, my only gripe with that, kid, you have John Cena standing right there talking to you, and all you can do is look at your freaking phone.
Well, that's
okay, so I get that. I get it because it looked like he was trying to
he was trying to get a picture.
I don't think
he was probably trying to take a video, and from what I saw of the clip, Cena, knowing that the kid was probably trying to like pull up his phone and get a video, like waited a second for him to, hit record on the video, because that clip's gonna go viral then. I think that was smart on Cena's part.
I have to stick up for this poor kid though, because I know many times I have my phone and it could be like a something like one little note I want to hear a singer hit live at a concert, or I want to catch my grandson doing something cute, or the dog's doing something cute, right. And without fail, every time I fumble, even when you pull up the screen and you just have to hit the little camera picture that you see to open your camera, and that never effing works. I'm sitting there pressing a blank screen, then I gotta open it and scroll to where the effing camera is, and I wind up missing whatever I'm trying to catch. So I understand that kid. The kid didn't know that John Cena was
shaking because he was so nervous.
You could tell they definitely didn't smarten that kid up that he was
not
at all.
That was in the moment.
I think the kid realized about 3 seconds before Cena got to him what was happening. Like Cena was stopping to him. So then he was like, "Oh shit! Oh shit. Oh my god!" And that's it. So I stick up for the kid.
I know I
totally understand that he wanted to get a video of it, because that's important.
Yeah. I know that this was partly to keep, mainly to enforce John Cena's babyface turn, but it'd have been funny if John Cena, walking up to the kid trying to talk to him, and he's looking at his phone, and then just turn heel again, slapping the phone out of his hand.
Oh my God.
And John Cena's heel turn lasted about 24 hours. So it just,
You know what?
He came out and set that kid on fire, and the kid still would have been, "I love you, John. I love you."
Yeah.
Right.
He could have burned that kid's house down like Hangman burned Swerve's house down.
Who wins?
John's got to win this.
Without a doubt.
Logan Paul, though, I'm becoming more and more of a fan of his in-ring, his heelish. I mean, he's awesome as a heel. He's amazing.
No doubt that he's good.
And he's a great in-ring guy. It's like we don't even have to say it anymore. He's just a wrestler now. He's full-time. He's not really doing the influencer shit. He's pretty much a full-time wrestler. We're seeing him pretty much every week, you know.
And he's got his podcast.
And he's doing great. He's doing great. Yeah, he still does his podcast, but
I'm not a fan of his. Like, I'm not gonna watch his podcast. I'm not gonna subscribe to his shit.
Yeah,
like, I'm still not a fan of his, but he's extremely good at what he does. That's just facts.
He generates natural heat.
He evokes emotion from the crowd. He evokes emotion.
Yeah.
He generates natural heat because
it's
for someone that had no connection to wrestling 3 years ago,
and
he
I don't know,
has no right to be as good as he is in and out of the ring as he is. And that's natural heat right there.
Yeah,
right?
I don't claim to know this. I don't claim to know it for fact, but I don't think John Cena in his last few appearances is going to get in the ring with Logan Paul if he didn't want to. He wanted him. John Cena is handpicking every single, last opponent that he's facing. So let's be honest.
Much like I said with Roman and Bronson, I think Cena loses. I think Logan Paul.
Wow.
He get yet another rub for Logan Paul.
What if?
Yeah, you're right. Because it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt Cena. Go ahead.
Right. What if the way he loses is that we get Brock Lesnar causing John Cena to lose the match and Logan Paul wins?
Yeah,
that's a good point, John. Yeah.
But okay, and last one, the one. Now, there's been debate this week about what should be the main event. I think this should be the main event. Honestly.
Yeah.
It's the 4-way for the World Heavyweight title. You have 4 of the most popular guys, not named Roman Reigns, or Paul Heyman in WWE right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this is one of these matches for me personally. There's far too many ways and different things that could play out that it's not that I can't pick a winner, but I can't definitively say, yes, Seth retains, or yes, Jimmy Uso, gets it back again, or LA Knight finally gets his due, being as popular as he is, or CM Punk gets his hands on another champ. I don't know, because there are so many different ways and variables they can go with this that I'm just going to sit back and watch.
It's every man for himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they
I'm just gonna go ahead and say that Seth's gonna retain. In my opinion, Seth's gonna retain. Now, how it gets there, to your point, that's gonna be fun to watch, because we don't know how it's gonna happen. We don't know. There's so many variables. We just saw Jey Uso super kick CM Punk on Raw, out of nowhere, just super kicked him.
Right.
So I mean, everybody's got a chip on their shoulder towards the other person. So,
Sure.
So there's no friends in this match.
Yeah.
So.
You know what? We really can't call it till I say we get tinfoil hat Andre and his Weeha board. Andre, who will win? I think he's spelling out Seth.
No, it's the fans. The fans will win.
Yeah, the fans
win.
Yeah.
Well,
I was wondering what you had in your hand a while ago. I was like, what is that?
Happy birthday, Andre. I don't have a little Guido head, so sorry, Guido.
Yeah.
But, happy birthday, Andre.
Well, that is going to be tomorrow. What time is the start time for this
2.
tomorrow?
It's at 2:00 Eastern.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be at work.
All right. I will be driving.
I'm not going to watch it.
I will have my big ass in my chair, because it's Labor Day weekend, and I don't labor on Labor Day weekend.
That's right, Johnny. Happy Labor Day weekend.
I'll be at work.
I
wasn't planning on watching it anyway, honestly.
Okay, Deb, we get it. We get it.
John Bay, you're right, John Bay.
All right, y'all. So, Elder or Mongrovian, how can people find you on the socials?
Find me at Mongrovian Mike. That's it.
Cool. Johnny Boy, how can people find you on the socials?
The metamorphosis has been completed. You can get me at both Instagram and Twitter at John South Jersey. And of course, as always, keep up with the exploits of the Most Dangerous Weapon, now version 5.0. Of the Most Dangerous Weapon in all of professional wrestling. Of course, we were talking about the AK9K, the Ass Kicker 9000, and you can keep up with his exploits at Ass Kicker 9K on Instagram.
Awesome. Deb, how can people find you on the socials?
I am at That's So Debonair, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, and
click
Cowboys
the link.
Suck.
Oh, I was going to say click the link.
Cowboys Suck. That's for Dirty and for Tony and for Neil.
Oh.
And for the lively crowd in Philly this week.
Yes. A lot of Dallas Sucks and Eagles fans.
Yeah.
Which I don't give a shit about either. I'm not an Eagles fan. Yes.
All right. So y'all can find me on at Tony Justice AJFA. And if you're a Metallica fan, like I know we are, or all of us are, what was I trying to say? You know what that means. Ooh, and plug channel 42 on the SiriusXM app and all your listening devices is now mandatory Metallica or Maximum Metallica.
Ooh.
It's called Maximum Metallica. And I've been listening to it. I listened to it yesterday and today, and it's pretty freaking cool. They played a whole live concert from 1995 this afternoon. It was the show at Castle Donington that they did when they escaped from the studio. They played that entire concert. So y'all check it out if you haven't already. And it's been a great show, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, we will catch you all on the flip.